What is up, everybody? Hey, thank you all for joining me on tonight, Level 3 Living, with yours truly, Dr. Charles Simmons. Are y'all excited about tonight? Come on, if you are excited, I want you to hit those likes, hit those hearts, drop it in the chat, drop it in the comments, type I'm excited. Come on. I hope you are excited because I know that I am excited on tonight. Man, I'm really looking forward to what it is that we're going to talk about on tonight. Shout out to all of my, let me say it this way, level 3 repeat offenders. Yeah. Shout out to all of my level 3 repeat offenders. Y'all, let me know that you all can hear me. If you can hear me, if everything is well, you can see me, you can hear me well, let me know so that we can go ahead and move forward. I hope y'all are excited. Let me see. What's up, Miss Janine? I see Jessica is ready. Rosie is ready. Yo, I'm excited about tonight. I'm excited about what it is that God's going to do. God is going to do and what he's going to teach us on tonight. You know, some people are watching from different environments. Some of you all are in a space where you can actually communicate with me. Some of you all are watching in the comfort of your living room. You're at home, watching on TV, wherever it is that you are watching from. Hey, thank you all for joining me. You know, we have been in this level 3 teaching for 3 weeks now. Yeah, this is our 3rd week. This is session 3, and I'm really excited about what we are going to talk about. Hey, let me give you some house rules real quick. Let me first, if this is your first time being with me, if this is your first time being with us, and in the level 3 tribe, if this is your first time being with us, this is what I want you to do. I want you to type the number 1 in the comments. Type the number 1. That way, I can make sure that I be a blessing to you. Yeah, I want to appreciate you for just taking time out, joining and growing with us, growing with me, and just kind of giving me a little bit of your time to do my best to help you thrive in your life and to live a level 3 lifestyle. So if this is your first time being with us, go ahead, put the number 1 in the comments. That way I can acknowledge you. And speaking of that, shout out to, I told you last week I was going to choose a couple of our first-time guests and be a blessing to them. So shout out to last week's winners, Shay Jones and Caitlin Rosendo. Yo, shout out to you all. Thank God for you all. And man, I hope that what you have received or will receive is going to be a blessing to you. So again, if this is your first time, looks like Kwame is with us on tonight. Yo, thank you for joining us, man. This is your first time, type the number 1. So again, that I can make sure I be a blessing to you. All right, let's continue on with the house rules. Remember, we don't spectate, we participate, right? So we take notes. Remember, note takers are game changers. So you take notes so that you can, go back, see the replay, kind of go back over some of this, some of what we're going to talk about. And we also post notes. We comment, as we are able to, not in a way that's going to distract you from receiving what you need to receive, but in a way that's going to be a blessing to everybody else. Also, remember, let's make sure that you like. Make sure that you hit those likes, those hearts. Make sure that you like. Make sure if you're on Facebook, that you follow. If you are on YouTube, do me a favor, subscribe. If it's something that you receive that is a blessing to your life and that's going to help you kind of live your life in a better way, do me a favor, subscribe, hit that notification bell, select all. That way you don't miss one episode. And then lastly, share this with somebody. Can y'all do that for me? Share this with somebody and tell them you are on level 3 living. Wednesday nights are going to be lit as they have already been, and I'm excited about that. Well, I am ready to jump in tonight's lesson, and if you are ready to go for it, type I'm ready. Yeah, come on. If you are ready, type I'm ready. I don't know about you, but I am ready. And tonight, let's see what we got. Yeah, tonight we are going to talk from this subject, think about it. Yeah, we are going to talk about that. Think about it. Type that in the comments. Somebody type, think about it. I'm going to make more sense of it in just a moment, but yeah, think about it. Think about it. And it's going to be really important to really think about it, and we'll dig into that in just a moment. That's what I want to do. I want to make sure I give you a recap what we discussed over the last couple of weeks, and I'll do that really quick. As we discussed, level 3 living, remember this, level 3 living is basically about living your life the way that God intended, okay? Now, everyone goes through different seasons. In your life, you are either drowning, right? You are maintaining, or you are advancing. All right, I'm going to say it again. You are either drowning, you are maintaining, okay? Or, here's the other one, you are advancing. So you're either drowning, maintaining, or advancing, right? Simply put, we said that you are either sinking, surviving, or thriving, right? And we discussed where it is that God wants us to be. Take a guess, right? We know we don't want to be drowning, right? Drowning is when life is just overwhelming you. You're being so overwhelmed by the vicissitudes of life, and life is just overwhelming you, right? Then there is maintaining. Maintaining is I don't really have a lot of cushion, but I'm not necessarily drowning. But I can't miss a paycheck, or I don't have enough time to do. I don't have extra time to do all the things that I want to do. That's maintaining, right? You don't really have a lot of cushion in life. And then there is advancing. And that's where God wants us to be. He wants you to be moving forward, to be personally developing, and to be growing, to always remain in the posture of a student, always learning, and not just living or settling for a mundane life. So simply put, again, sinking, surviving, or thriving. That's level 3 living. And so the purposes of these Wednesday night teachings is to help you live on level 3, to help you live a level 3 lifestyle. And so that's what we talked about. And we discussed how the reason why is because I'm theologically convicted that that's the life that God wants you to live. God wants you to live a level 3 lifestyle. As a matter of fact, Jesus' whole purpose had to do with us living a level 3 lifestyle. Jesus said, I came, right, that you may have life and life to the full. Or I came that you may have life and life more abundantly. So yeah, I see you all typing in the comments. Y'all are ready. Come on, I see Robin Nett's here. Miss Kennard is here. Yep, Tommy is here. Well, I'm excited. So we talked about that during the first week. So in the first week, we said session 1 was all about order, right? And we said basically that level 3 living doesn't just require order. Level 3 living demands order, right? Level 3 living doesn't just require order. Level 3 living demands order. Somebody type order. Level 3 living demands order. All right. And so I gave you a nugget to hold on to, and that was that order is the key that unlocks the treasures that God has placed in others for us. That there are treasures, right? There are talents, there are gifts that God has placed in other people for us, right? And in order oftentimes to unlock those gifts, we have to have certain things in order. And I showed you all that in 1 Kings. If you have, if just in case you missed that, make sure you go back and check out the first week, which was about order. And this is what I told you, that you don't just snap your finger, right, and life just falls into order. No, in order for you to live on this level 3 or to experience this level 3 lifestyle, you have to put a system in place. Remember, I talked to you about that. You have to put a system in place. And I gave you an acronym. We said that a system is something that saves you stress, time, energy, and money. So all of us have a system. It's either working or it's broken. All right. If it's working, it's saving you stress, time, energy, and money. If it's broken, it's causing stress. It's causing you time. It is causing you energy and causing you money. Are y'all with me? All right. So we said this, whenever you are lacking in those areas, time, energy, and money, then it's going to cause stress. So I gave you some keys, right, that are part of systems that I use in my life. They help me keep certain things in order. We talked about putting your house in order, learning how to declutter your space. so that you can have freedom in your creative thought process. That some of the most productive people are people who do not have such a cluttered space, so that you don't have to settle for operating in organized chaos, right? So that system that I gave you for your house was EHAP, right? Everything has a place. Everything has a place. All right. So you need to go home. If you hadn't already, some of you already started that, and start creating a place for everything, right? So you can establish order at home. Last week, I gave you a system for time, right? Because I taught you that you need to make sure, right, that you tell your time where to go, so that time serves you and that you don't serve time. And I gave you a nugget, and that was this: that the freedom, right, that you experience with your time tomorrow is determined by the seeds of your the seeds or organization that you plant today. I say that one more time. All right. The freedom that you experience with your time tomorrow is determined by the seeds or organization that you plant today. So if you start putting your time in order today, it'll start helping you experience freedom in your time tomorrow. Does that make sense? Yeah. And I told you that leaders don't kill time, right? Leaders execute time. We don't kill time. We don't have time to kill. No, we execute time. All right. Yeah. So I gave you a system. I talked to you about the Sacred Seven, which helps you determine your priorities in life. And then I even gave you over the between the first and second week, I gave you a calendar, right, on how to plug that in. I showed you that last week on how to plug your priorities in your calendar, or excuse me, in your time, so that you can tell your time where to go. Yeah. Last week was good. Man, I'm telling you, it blessed my life. I hope that it blessed you all as well. As a matter of fact, did anybody start working on your time last week? How many of you all already started working on your time? Let me see. How many of you started working on your time already? I know. Look, I started getting some other things in order. It's like Dee said she started working on her time. Who else? You already started working on your time. Let me ask you all this question. Robinette started working on hers. Yep. Business owners. I know me and Victor had a conversation, just working on different things. Let me ask y'all this. How many of you tried to work on your time? Rosie started working on hers. How many of you tried to start working on your time and you started running into distractions? Look out, Jamar. Fred in the house. How many? Jamar started working on his. Okay, how many of you started working on your time, start trying to tell your time where to go, and then distractions started showing up? Like you said you was going to do such and such at such and such time, but as soon as you started, distractions popped up and started derailing you for where it is that you were trying to go. I know I experienced that on this past week. Anybody else experience that? This week I had planned on doing all types of stuff. But one thing led to another. This popped up. That popped up. Gina said always. And that's true, right? I think always is actually the perfect answer. You know why? Shoot, some of us know exactly what I'm talking about. We experienced distractions this week. But this is what I learned about distractions. I want y'all to hear me. Like, distractions are inevitable. Distractions will always come. Jamar know what I'm talking about. Distractions will always come. And I want to tell you this. It doesn't matter how old you are, how young you are, how experienced in life you are. No one, and I do mean no one, is exempt from it. No one. Distractions will always come, y'all, and no one is exempt from it. Not one of us. No matter how much knowledge you have, no matter how perfect you get things down, none of us are exempt from distractions. What we have to learn is how to manage these distractions, right? Because life is always going to happen, right? Again, some of us experience some of those today. Life is always going to happen. So I want to help you on tonight deal with that. And I want to give us a working definition of what distractions really are. And I want to give you two parts. All right, two parts. If you look up the word distraction, Google defines it as this. The first part, number one, for distractions is this. Distractions is a thing that prevents someone from giving full attention to something else. That's what distractions are. Distractions. It is a thing, or maybe even someone oftentimes, that prevents someone from giving full attention to something else. Now leave that up. I want you to see this. I want you to notice how the word distraction is broken up. It's broken up. Okay, distraction. Do y'all see that? So a distraction is distraction. Thank you. So distractions basically are intended or often come to throw us off course. Okay? They basically attempt to stop, or they attempt to delay you from continuing to gain traction in the direction you're trying to go. So you say this week, I'm getting my life together. There's some things that I'm getting ready to do. There's some stuff I'm gonna work on, right? And I'm getting my life on track. So I'm gonna start tracking with my time, and I'm gonna start moving in the direction that I want to go. And soon as you make that decision, while you are trying to put your time in order, distractions shows up. Somebody know what I'm talking. Mike knows what I'm talking about. Distractions show up, right? They knock you off course. They stop you from gaining traction. Now, this when we think about like divine, like basically like God ordained distractions, oftentimes like that sounds like an oxymoron, right? But some distractions are divine. Now let me make sense of that. This is what I mean by that. Some distractions are divine. This is what I mean. I mean that sometimes the course we're trying to go on is not necessarily the course that God wants us to go on, right? Yeah, the course we're trying to go on is not necessarily the course that God wants us to go on. So how do you define a divine distraction? Well, basically, a divine distractions, they always result in destiny detours. In other words, basically, divine distractions result in detours that actually lead us to destiny. They actually lead us to where we are really supposed to go. Y'all ever been there before? Because let's just be truthful on this Wednesday night. Sometimes we are on track to go in a direction that we probably aren't necessarily supposed to go. Am I the only one? Come on. Yeah. Sometimes we're on traction to go somewhere, right, that we aren't necessarily supposed to go. And what does God do? He sends things to redirect us. Now, I got Bible. I'm convicted theologically, right? And so I want a script. Well, you all read this when you get a chance. We don't have time to pull it up and dig too deep into this. But there's a story about a man named Jonah, right? Jonah was supposed to go to a specific place, but instead he wanted to go somewhere else. So what Jonah does is God has told him, hey, I want you to go to Nineveh. I want you to go to this place where I want you to go. He jumps on a boat on his way to Tarshish. He jumps on this boat and decides he's going to go in a different direction. So what does God do? Instead of destroying him, right, from going in for disobeying and trying to get away from where God actually told him to go, God sends storms. He sends storms and all of this turmoil to this ship. And he started causing everybody else to say, hey, something ain't right. Something is not right. Something is on by this boat. And they started throwing all of this stuff over, right? They started throwing all of this weight, trying to see was that going to help them out? The problem was that Jonah was running from where it is that God wanted him to be. So what do they ultimately do? They throw everything overboard, including Jonah. He gets swallowed up by the whale. Now, he gets swallowed up by a whale, but the miracle in this whole situation is that he gets swallowed up by this whale, but he doesn't die. He's actually residing within the belly of the whale. Now, if I was in church right about now, I would say that that's shouting news, because oftentimes when we get off, right, we talking about level 3. Sometimes when we get off course, we often feel like we're at level 1. We are swallowed up by whatever it is that is like overwhelming us. But I'm so excited to know that the whale actually took Jonah to where it is he was supposed to be. That's a divine distraction. That is when you decide, I'm going to take this course, and God is like, nope, you're going to go where I tell you to go. And I'm going to make sure that you go where I tell you to go. As a matter of fact, I'm a specialist at turning around what the enemy meant for bad. I'm a specialist at turning it around for your good. So while you are thinking that it's better for you not to live, they're going to just throw you overboard and you're going to drown. I'm going to make sure that the thing that swallows you up, Lord, I got excited just right there. I'm going to make sure that the thing that swallows you up actually takes you to your destiny. I want to encourage somebody. Lord, I can't help it. I want to encourage somebody tonight to tell you that you may feel like life is always, maybe oftentimes throwing you off course. Maybe you're feeling like you always been overwhelmed. You're trying to maintain, you're trying to survive. You just barely can keep your head above water. I'm telling you that God has orchestrated your steps. You are divinely watching and participating in this level 3 living. And I'm telling you that some of the stuff that you feel like is swallowing you up right now, God is going to use to get you exactly to where it is you're supposed to be. Somebody type, I feel that. Put that in the comments. I feel that. It's a divine distraction. It's a divine distraction, all right? That's when God is like, yo, I'm going to make sure you get where it is you're supposed to get. I'm going to make sure you get where you're supposed to get when we're on a course that we are supposed to be on. Here's the other part, though. There are other distractions, right, that aren't necessarily divine. Those distractions are sent to, again, knock us off where it is that God is saying we are actually supposed to go. All right? Those distractions aren't destiny. Those distractions causes deviation. Now, this is important as we get ready to talk about, as I kind of dig into some of the meat of where we're going to end up landing tonight. You cannot deviate without an established course or an accepted standard. Okay, this is the reason why it's so important. Come on, this is the reason why it's so important for you to establish order, because you can't call it a distraction if you hadn't already established a course. You can't call it a distraction. You can't call it deviating if you haven't established a course. You can't categorize certain distractions as deviations if there is not an accepted standard. Does that make sense? That's called out of order. So some stuff that we often categorize as distractions, they aren't really distractions. Some things we just got to get our life in order. You understand what I'm saying? Some stuff we got, but once you get your life in order, once you say, I've established a course, there's things that I plan on doing with my schedule. There's stuff that I've already laid out. There's an accepted standard. Then stuff start popping up, and you know you're on course for where it is you're supposed to be going. That's deviation. And that's the thing that we have to war against. So I want to move on to the second definition of distraction. So we know that the first one is that distractions are a thing that prevents someone from giving full attention to something else, whatever that something else is. Here's the second part of it. Well, what a distraction is. A distraction is defined as extreme agitation of the mind or emotions. Now, somebody feels that definition right there. Distractions. Extreme agitation of the mind or emotions. So as soon as you say, I got my time laid out, I'm about to start going to the gym. I'm about to get my life together physically, and I'm about to get healthy. I'm gonna finally hit my weight goal. I'm about to get on track for that. As soon as that happens, somebody calls you and with bad news. Now you're agitated extremely in a number of areas in your mind and in your emotions. Right? As soon as you decide you're about to go a certain way, somebody calls you with some mess. Like, can you say that? Yeah, I think you can say that. Just calls you with stuff, just agitating. Now you angry. Now you upset. Come on, I know I'm not the only one that been there. That happened to me this week. As soon as you start going in the course, you know God has said go. Here comes extreme agitation of the mind or emotions. So the question is then, how do I deal with that? Because remember, we've already established that it's always going to happen, right? In other words, like, no, right, we've already established that nobody and right, nobody is exempt from it. So what do I do? How do I actually deal with that? I want to help you, and I want to show you Philippians chapter number 4, I believe, and we're going to read verses 8 through 9. And I want to show you the MSG. I want to show you the Message version. Because this is really good. Y'all ready? Can we go forward? Y'all good? Is this good so far? All right, here we go. I want you to. This is Paul writing, and Paul he really helps us out. He gives us some real insight on how we are to weigh how are we to weigh when distractions come. What are we going to weigh that against? Like, how are we going to snap back? How are we going to continue the course when things happen? Because it's going to always happen. Well, look what Paul says. He says, come on, Mike. Mike said, let's go. Here we go. Summing it all up. All right. So he gives this teaching and so forth before, and he's like, yo, summing it all up, friends, I'll say you'll do best. Here it is. By filling your minds. Now we got to hold on to that. All right. He says, filling your minds and meditating on things that are true. Oh my God. Look at that. Meditating on things that are true. Things that are noble. Things that are reputable. Things that are actually authentic. Things that are real. Things that are gracious. Now, I want you to look at this part. He says, the best and not the worst. So things that are true, number one, when stuff come your way, you have to ask yourself, okay, is this even true? Like, is this a report? Because some stuff in the phone call, some stuff is a thought. And I'm going to deal with that in just a moment. Some stuff is a thought. I mean, as soon as you are on your way, we're going to go back to that in just a moment. As soon as you are on your way to tracking, right, on the way that you set or that you have set the course to go in, low self-esteem starts coming in. You start thinking about all this stuff that people have said about you. Yeah. Or you start thinking about all of the reasons why you can't accomplish the dreams, the goals, the assignments that you're actually on course to do. Think about it. That's the reason why I'm talking about think about it tonight. I want you to think about it. We're going to deal with it in just a moment. Is it true? Like, is that true? Is it true that you can't accomplish that you aren't smart enough? That's not true. Is it true that you were not created to be successful, the head above only and not beneath, the lender, not the borrower? It doesn't matter where you are right now, right? The thought where you are right now doesn't have to determine what you fill your mind with. That's what Paul is trying to get us to see. He's trying to get us to understand that that there is power in meditating on the right thing. All right, let's move on. Let's pull that back up. I'll say to you, do best by filling your minds and meditating on things true, on things noble, excuse me, on things reputable. Here it is, on things authentic. You know what fear is? I've heard someone say this definition. I've used it a number of times. False evidence appearing real. False evidence. You know how often stuff will pop up and it's not even real? Like, life has a way of putting of painting a false picture and causing you to panic, abort, and forfeit what you was actually on course to accomplish. Is it authentic? Is it real? Here it is. Is it compelling? Is it gracious? Now, I love this part. He says, it's best that you fill your mind with the best and not the worst. Now, I just want to pause, stop. I got to set up shop real quick during this level 3 living teaching and ask this question. How hard is that? Because how often do we think about the worst rather than the best? Come on. Paul, I love this. I love it. He's saying that you have an innate ability to control your thoughts. Think about it. That when something comes your way, you may not be able to control the feeling, but you can control the thought. It's hard, Jessica, I know. Gail, it's hard, right? Yeah, sometimes you feel sad about stuff you don't want to feel sad about, right? Sometimes we mad about stuff we don't want to be mad about. That's the feeling, but you can control the thought. You can control how long you allow it to rent space in your head. That's what Paul is saying. Like, how long are you going to let that thing rent space in your head? He tells them, he says, fill your minds with the beautiful, not the ugly. Things to praise and not things to curse. Oh, I love that. Come on. Oh, Jesus. And he says, put into practice, he's talking to Timothy, put into practice what you learned from me, what you heard and saw and realized, talking to the church in Philippi. He says, if you do that, and God who makes everything work together, y'all, we do believe he works everything together, right? We quote it all the time. All things work together for the good of them who love the Lord and are called according to his purpose, right? It all works together for his good and for his glory. He says, now, if you can do this, the God that works everything together will work for you in his most excellent harmonies. Will work you into his most excellent harmonies. In other words, this is a key. This is a key to you allowing God to actually include you in his plans. Is that not amazing? That God is saying, it's hard for me to include somebody who's always thinking about the worst. It's hard for me to include somebody who's always thinking about the ugly, who's thinking about stuff that that need to be cursed, who's meditating on stuff that's not true and not reputable and not real and not gracious. It's hard for me to include them in my plan. All but the one that can fill their minds, that actually takes time when they hear something. Instead of just acting on it, that actually takes time to think about it. I can include that person in my plans. Oh, this is so good. Yo, oh my God, is this helping anybody? So I remember I got my doctorate in divinity and theology. But I remember when I was doing some of my postgraduate work, I remember one of my professors would always talk about how 95% of our brain is actually controlled by the subconscious. And it's proven. This is a scientific fact. 95% is actually controlled by the subconscious. All right. So that's a scientific, it's just proven. And there's a lady by the name of Gail Mara. She is a clinical hypnosis. She's a clinical hypnosis. And she wrote this article, and I happened to run across it about how the subconscious mind actually controls each and every movement, whether it's voluntary or whether it's involuntary. that today's scientists actually estimate that 95% of our brain's activity, listen to me, is unconscious. Now, what does that mean? Why is that important for what we've just talked about? Because that means that the majority of the decisions that we make, the majority of the actions that we take, whether it's our emotions or whether it's our behaviors, it actually depends on the 95% of our brain activity that lies beyond conscious awareness. Okay. Now, now I told you all that repetition is a leader's best friend. So when you actually infuse EHAL, right? When you actually create a place for everything, when you actually tell your time where it's going to go, when you create a regular rhythm, right? Your brain your brain starts automatically functioning that way without you even consciously thinking about it. Okay? So when you think about that, your subconscious mind never sleeps. It doesn't rest. It don't take breaks. Why? Because it controls the areas that we aren't always consciously aware of. So if your subconscious mind took a break, you would stop breathing because you don't think about breathing. Are y'all getting what I'm saying? It controls all of your vital processes, all of the functions of your body. So for instance, like the subconscious mind actually controls your heartbeat, your blood circulation, it actually regulates your digestion, right? It actually or regulates your elimination. So when you're sleeping, your conscious mind kind of becomes dormant while your subconscious mind actually stays full awake. So science actually shows that while you are sleeping, you still hear and process everything while you're asleep. Now, I'm saying all of this for a reason because I'm trying to show you how powerful your thought process is. Because you may not be able to control your feelings, but you can control your thoughts. All right, a little bit more about the subconscious mind. The subconscious mind actually has the habit. I want you to hear this. This is so important. Lord, help me. Y'all get this. Note takers, write this down. The subconscious mind has the habit of taking everything literally. Okay? What does that mean? It means that your subconscious mind doesn't differentiate between negative and positive. I hope y'all get where I'm going. It doesn't differentiate between negative and positive. Why is that important? Remember, we just read Paul, from a theological standpoint, tell us that God has given us the ability to control what we think. Now, from a scientific standpoint, we understand that your subconscious mind doesn't differentiate between negative and positive. So if you continually tell yourself that you'll never succeed, if you continually tell yourself that you're never going to make it, if you continually tell yourself, oh God, that bad things always happen to you in whatever particular venture you always venture out to do, guess what? It's likely that it's going to turn out that way because you are causing regular habitual patterns to start forming in your subconscious mind. Are y'all getting what I'm saying? So the subconscious mind is subjective. It doesn't think and it doesn't reason independently. The subconscious, let me just put it this way. Your subconscious mind simply obeys and receives what your conscious mind gives it. That's the reason why Henry Ford said it this way. If you think you can, or if you think you can't, you're right. Lord, help me on tonight. Is this making... If you think you can or if you think you can't, Henry Ford said, you're right. Because the more you tell yourself that and the more you let those thoughts reside, you are forming this subconscious habitual pattern. That's the reason why when we actually dream about our future, or when we kind of get real nostalgic and start thinking about our past, that's your conscious mind at work. So what Paul is saying is, your subconscious mind becomes a product of your conscious mind. Paul is telling you all that 5% is so powerful that it has that God has given you such God has given you such power over controlling your thoughts that the 5% that you can't control actually will cause the 95% or would determine how the 95% actually acts out. Does that make sense? So the conscious mind thinks in terms of past and future. It doesn't necessarily think present. But our subconscious mind is constantly focused on basically the present moment. Listen to me. That's the reason why it's so important to be mindful of your inner thoughts, such as instead of saying I will be successful. Now I know this. If you get this, I'm telling you, this will help you thrive in your thinking. Instead of saying I will be successful, say I am successful. As a matter of fact, type that in the comments. I am successful. Not I will be successful. I am successful. Why? Why am I telling you to do that? Why is it important to you affirm present things over your life? Because the subconscious mind doesn't think past or future. Your subconscious mind thinks present. And that's the thing that we need to operate correctly, because that's what is happening involuntarily. It's happening whether you want it or not, whether you want it to or not. You're not consciously telling your heartbeat to beat. Your subconscious mind is working. I am successful, not I will be. I am successful. Why? Because now your actions can start following it. Think about it. Oh, man. I'm almost running out of time. Come on, Marcus. We gotta thrive in our thinking. See, God is trying to advance your thought process, and He's using Paul in Philippians to do that. I want you to get this. Your mind is the nucleus of everything you are and everything you will become. Somebody type that out. That's too good. Your mind is the nucleus of everything you are and everything that you will become. So Paul sums it up. He says, in other words, now that you know all of that, I'm telling you that it's best for you to fill your minds and meditate on things that are true, things that are noble, pull that up, things that are reputable, things that are authentic, things that are compelling, things that are gracious, the best, not the worst, the beautiful, not the ugly, things to praise, not things to curse. And he says, put that into practice. Are y'all getting this? He said, you got to learn how to put that into practice. Mike said, I don't have to type. Mike said, what everybody else done typed up, what they said. Yeah. He's saying your mind is the nucleus of everything you are and will become. Put that into practice. Think about it. Says put into practice what you learned and what you heard, what you saw and what you realized. Do that, and God, the one who makes everything work together, He'll work you into His most excellent harmonies. Man, this is good. Like Nike said, just do it. Somebody type, think about it. Think about it. Think about it. The last thing somebody said to you, was it true? Because look, you could not control the feeling. So did it make you upset? Oh, absolutely. Right? Faith is not the denial of reality. My pastor used to teach us that. Faith is not the denial of reality. It's acknowledging it and saying God is bigger than my reality. So I'm not going to deny on whether I was angry, right? I'm not going to deny whether or not I felt sad. Have you ever felt sad about something you didn't want to feel sad about? You ever felt mad about something you did not want to feel mad about? Let me ask you this. Just in the last 2 weeks, have some type of distraction popped up and that caused you to feel an emotion you didn't necessarily want to feel? So Paul doesn't deal with the emotions. He knows that's real. We're going to talk about that next week. He doesn't deal with that. What Paul says is you were not able to control your feelings about it, but you were able to control your thought so that you weigh it up against what I'm telling you to weigh it up against. Did you take time to think about it? Was it true? Was it true? Was it noble? Is it worth repeating? Is it reputable? Is it something you would like? Some stuff some stuff you don't even have to let it stop you. It's trying to knock you off course. It's deviation. It's not a divine distraction. It's not trying to get you to your destiny. It's deviation. It's trying to deviate you. It's trying to knock you off course. It's a distraction. Distraction. It's trying to stop traction. It's trying to stop movement. And was it authentic? Was it even real? What they said. Was it real? Or what you have been telling yourself? Was it the best? So even if it was all of that true and all of that stuff reputable, noble, authentic, compelling, gracious, then Paul clears it up by saying, well, was it the best? Was it the best thing for you to fill your mind with? Or was it the worst? Because he's saying, I'm telling you the best thing to do is to fill it with the best. So it don't have the last say so. Right when you're on your way to becoming the best self, you say, I'm tired of just surviving. I'm tired of just maintaining. I'm finna step out and start living the level 3 lifestyle I'm supposed to live. Soon as that happens, you get a text message. Or as soon as that happens, you're scrolling through social media and there goes a distraction. You got a choice. You got a choice right then. What are you going to fill your mind with? Did you think about it? Or did you just react? Mike said your attitude determines your altitude. That's good. Janine, fill your mind with the best. Think about it. Look, I'm running out of time. So I want to give you this real quick. I want to give you just something practical to kind of help you. I want you you'll have to take notes or either go back and read the replay on this or listen to the replay on this. But I want you to write out how you want to master your mind. I want you to write it out. Remember, level 3 living doesn't just require, right? It demands order. So you have to command your life. You don't just let it. You don't just be like, yeah, I plan on thinking correctly. I plan on controlling my thoughts. Well, if you plan on it, then put a plan on it. Man, that was too good. I'm gonna go back and listen to the replay just to hear that. I say, if you plan on it, put a plan on it. Put that in the comments. Put a plan on it. Yeah, put a plan on it. So, how do you want to master your mind? Write out how you want to master your mind. Okay? In other words, write out how do you want to think? Because you have to start setting these parameters. How do you want to think? How do you want to deal with stress? How do you want to think? How do you want to deal with stress? Because once you start writing this out, you're putting a plan together on how to master your mind. And when you start putting these things together, you can say, this right here, this is not God. No, this ain't trying to give me. No, this is deviation. Because I didn't plan on. No. I didn't. No. I got a plan that's put in place on how to deal with this. So why is that important? Because it helps you deal with it before you have to deal with it. So you already have a plan in order for when you get that phone call. You're not waiting for the phone call. You already have a plan in order. Now, this isn't thinking from a pessimistic mindset, right? I'm not telling you not to think optimistically. I'm not telling you to plan for the worst. No, because you can't plan for the worst and expect the best. That's just that you can't, because expectation requires intentionality. So you can't plan for the worst, expect the best. That's not what I'm talking about. What I'm saying is that when you have a plan in place, you're able to deal with things before you have to deal with it. So if I'm on my way, if I no, let me use tonight. If I if I was getting ready to do level 3 living, then I got a phone call, right, about something, I have to ask myself these questions. Is it true? Is it noble? Is it authentic? So forth and so on. Okay. Does it require my time right now? Does it require, because sometimes, like, all of us have emergencies, right? All of us have emergencies. And sometimes when somebody else has an emergency, they expect you to have that emergency as well. That just because it's their emergency, they want it to be your emergency too. But you have to ask yourself, like, does this really require my time right now? Yeah. Because sometimes you just have to deal with life. You just have to deal with life. But there are other times where that thing is just a distraction. And it may not be a distraction for somebody else, but it may be a distraction for you. And remember this, right? That I told you this last week, that opportunity is a window. It's a window that doesn't stay open forever. So if you're going to always deal with distractions, then you're going to eventually have to start weighing it against something and determine, what do I allow to knock me off traction? What do I allow to knock me off? So put a plan together to master your mind. All right. How do you want to think? How do you want to deal with stress? How do you want to create a good mindset? Now, the reason why I say that is important is because some of us, it's not always easy, right? It's not, because some of us, we aren't necessarily in a war with everybody else. Like, if we just have an honest moment with yourself, the seeds may have been planted by the actions of other people, but a lot of us are just in war with our own self. A lot of us are just in war with our own self. So you have to put a plan together to create a good mindset. Robinette said that she's learned that when you have a plan, those unexpected things do not knock you off as easy. Yeah, because your time has already been allocated. That's good. Yeah, exactly. Life is going to always, but when you have a plan, when you got a plan in place, it doesn't throw you off as easy, like as she said. You're able to bounce back quicker. All right, so you're going to put a plan together on mastering your mind, okay? I'm always here for you all. I'm always here, like, to help. Reach out to me, somebody on my team will help you. And I want you to ask yourself this question. Here it is. If I was going to hire one person to help me achieve this goal, who would it be? Ask yourself, this is what you need to do. This is your homework, in a sense. This is your life work, I should say. If I was going to hire one person to help me achieve this goal, right? Now, some of you think about your friends, so forth and so on, like, and you like, oh, well, they wouldn't let me hire them. If that's the one, that's the one. Whoever it is, if you're going to hire one person to help you achieve this goal, who would that be? Who would help you? Who would that be? Because everybody needs somebody. Don't think that you can do this on your own. Every counselor needs a counselor. Every doctor needs a doctor. Every therapist needs a therapist. Every coach needs a coach. Every leader needs a leader. Are y'all hearing what I'm saying? Are you hearing what I'm saying? If you were going to hire one person, who would that be? I want you to think about it. Think about it. All right. Well, my time is just about spent. Was this good? I know it was a lot. Oh man, but go back and look at the replay. This right here has blessed my life. Was it good? Did it help anybody? Hey, next week, I'm going to deal with some good. Jessica said it was good. I want y'all to share this, tag somebody in it. Make sure you share it with somebody, be a blessing to somebody else. Just copy the link and send it to them. Hey, next week I'm going to deal with some emotional health in this. Before I go there, hey, there's some excuse me, I want to make sure I kind of start developing like this whole level 3. There's some stuff I got planned in the future, some master classes and things of that nature. And so some things I'm going to kind of just be sending out to those who just want this level 3 type of teaching and stuff that's going to be coming with it in the future. I have a number that you can text the word level 3 to. That number is 501-290-4448. It's on the screen. If you want to be a part of this whole level 3 tribe, it's free. It's nothing like it's free. But I'm going to start building a database because I want you all, I want to be the first to know about some stuff that's coming, and maybe even give you all some, some exclusives, whether there's discounts on some things, stuff like that, like the level 3 planner that's getting ready to come. I'm already working on it. I'm excited about that. But that's going to be accompanied by some things that I really think is going to bless you in your life. So, hey, text the word level 3 to that number, and it'll put you in the system. That way, when you'll receive encouragement from time to time. I'll send you out something that I hope that be a blessing to you and help you live on this level 3 lifestyle. So make sure that you do that. Also, as always, if there's something that's been said that you feel like it's going to be it has been a blessing to you, I want you to always consider dropping a seed into the ground, right? I have this principle to sow where it is that you grow. So I want you to do that. Cash App is there. But next week, I'm going to be dealing with emotional healthiness and intelligence. Okay. Now, it's important for you. Let me just give you a quick snippet. I only got 2.5 minutes left, 3 minutes, but I want to give you a quick snippet of next week. I'm going to be dealing with emotional healthiness and intelligence. So we've talked about order. I've helped you with some systems in ordering your house, ordering your time, right? But we always, in ordering your time, you got to deal with distractions. So today, I kind of gave you some things to think about as it relates to controlling your thought process and being able to really categorize those distractions, right? Some of the things we talked about today was the power of your mind and how you're able to actually, how powerful your thought process is, right? But certain things we didn't deal with is emotions. Now, I really want to deal with that because every leader, right? Leaders don't kill time, we execute time, but every leader is going to have to manage their emotions. You're going to have to become healthy in your emotions and healthy in your emotional intelligence. So here's a snippet. The reason why it's important is you need to be in the driver's seat of your emotions and not the passenger side of your emotions. Because if you're in the driver's seat, you are controlling your emotions as best as possible. If you're in the passenger side, your emotions are controlling you. So the reason why we're going to deal with emotional intelligence next week is because emotional intelligence means that you can identify your emotions, you can identify where your emotions actually come from. And if you can do that, as you start getting healthy in that area, you'll be able to see patterns and you'll be able to understand what's going on beyond the surface issue. And ultimately, if you're able to do that, you'll be able to understand your emotions. And here it is. If you can understand your emotions, you can separate from them. I'm just going to leave that right there. If you can understand your emotion, it'll help you learn how to separate from them. All right? So don't forget, it's going to be good next week, I'm telling you. So make sure that you invite. Don't forget to like, if you're on Facebook, to follow. Make sure you hit those notifications. Hey, if you are on YouTube, do me a favor. Help me get my subscribers list up. Like it, hit that subscribe button, and hit all on notifications. Y'all do that for me? Hey, thank you all for, again, joining me on tonight. Level 3 Living with yours truly, Dr. Charles Simmons. I'm excited for you, and I cannot wait to continue to help you live on this level 3 lifestyle in session 4 on next week. I love y'all. Y'all have a good night, and I'll talk with y'all real soon.
Thank you.